All-star at BYU, but he grew up a New York boy in Glens Falls, which means he's one of my guys. He's on my team.
Stop claiming him.
We welcome Jimmer to the program. We start with this. I have compared you to Danny Ainge. Wilbon has compared you to Lindsey Hunter. Who do you compare yourself to in terms of basketball?
I've heard a pretty good comparison with Mark Price. The way that he was able to, play in college and, he was a lethal scorer, could shoot the ball. I think my body size compares a little bit to, Darren Williams in the NBA today, just with how, the big, bigger guy at the point guard position is something that, I've looked at my body style and tried to do some of the things that he's done in his game and implement them in my game. So, those are some comparisons, I guess.
Well, I covered Mark Price a lot in college in the ACC, Jimmer, and you shoot from a lot greater distance than Mark Price did. How far out do you feel comfortable? Because you've hoisted up some really long threes.
Yeah, I have. It's something that, I take pride in being able to shoot from deep ranges, and I think that's what makes me a better player, especially with my dribble drive. That guys have to play me out there. If they don't, I have confidence that I can shoot that and make it. So that's what I learned from a young age, and I've tried to implement it in my game now.
We have read in a lot of places that your older brother TJ pushed you when you were a kid, and he came up with some unusual drills. Can you tell us about these unusual drills?
We'd have things where, we actually practiced in my church. There was a gym in the church. And we had this long hallway, and it was kind of, narrow. And what you would do is you'd turn off all the lights, except for the one in the foyer that you could see. And that's the only thing you could see, but in the hallway it was dark. And I dribbled down the hallway, not being able to see the ball, doing all the different types of moves, between the legs and crossover, behind the back. And I'd go all the way up until I got to the foyer where I could finally see. And I continued to do that, and it really worked on my ball handling skills. And he did it, a bunch of different other things that really helped my game, I think, to this day.
Well, TJ must have been a tough brother, because when you turned 18, he had you play pickup games, we've read, with some inmates at a local prison. Can you describe what that was like?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a cool experience. A little intimidating at first. You just walk in, you walk right through the yard, and you saw the inmates, and you got into the gym, and they had a decent gym, and they had some bleachers there, and the inmates were in there warming up, and then all of a sudden they opened the doors, and then a bunch of inmates came in, and they filled the stands, and they were watching us play. And like I said, it was intimidating at first, but then when you started playing it, it became regular basketball, and we never had any problems because they didn't want to lose that privilege. They wanted to play, but they were hard-nosed guys, obviously, and it was intimidating for some of the things that the guys said, in the crowds, and you'd see them betting stuff on us and all this different types of stuff. So it was fun, and it just makes you mentally tough.
Well, the big brotherly influence clearly made you tough. We've also heard that your brother forced you to sign a contract. What does that contract say, Jimmer? How did that come about?
Yeah, it was when I was, about 13 or 14 years old. He knew that, my main goal, my ultimate goal is to become an NBA basketball player. That's been my dream since I was young, and he just had a contract said I, and then it had like a line for my name. And it said, we'll make the necessary and proper sacrifices to reach my ultimate goal of making it to the NBA. And then it had a signature thing at the bottom and like a witness line that he signed. And I kind of just put it up above my bed. And, I thought it was stupid at first at a young age. I didn't know why I did it, but I just saw it every single night. And before I went to bed, it kind of reminded me, and I'd fall asleep thinking about trying to become an NBA basketball player, and I think it's something that really helps out.
I will get you out on this one. You've got unbeaten San Diego State in Provo tomorrow. That's number 4 versus number 9. It is a big deal. In fact, we hear that 24 NBA scouts are supposed to be on hand. Is this all exciting for you, or is there some level of nervousness as well?
It's a little bit of both. It's very, very exciting just to play in such a big game, one of the biggest games in the Mountain West Conference history. And, it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. The game's been sold out for a long time, and we have a great team coming in to play against us. And I always get nervous before games. And once the game actually starts, I'm not really nervous anymore. I'm just ready to go out and play. And hopefully I'll be able to play a great game, and our team will be able to play a great game, and we'll be able to win and be able to impress some people. So we're looking forward to that challenge.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jim.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
We're taking a break. When we come back,
Going down, Jimmer.
all-time